Hi, this is Mona Lisa, a student of DPharm second year. Here I am going to discuss about the topic drugs absorption. Before starting the topic, let's take a look what I will discuss here. First is the concept of pharmacokinetics, second is route of administration, third is definition of absorption, and fourth is mechanism of drugs absorption. The first one is concept of pharmacokinetics. Before studying the drugs absorption, we have to know some idea about the pharmacokinetics. What is pharmacokinetics? Pharmacokinetics is the quantitative study of the drugs movement. In simple word, we can say what effect body does to the drug. In order to get good result, drug should reach at the site of action in adequate concentration, and for that the drug molecule should cross various barriers. So the pharmacokinetic study mainly involves 4 steps. That is shortly known as ADME, where A stands for absorption, D distribution, M metabolism, and E excretion. Let us shortly know about the ADME. When we administer any drug, it has to come to our system circulation, that is blood or plasma, and this is called the absorption, which we will discuss later. But why the drugs needs to be absorbed? So it has to be distributed in the targeted areas. So we can say distribution will be the second process. After reaching the targeted area, drug does its action and then come to the liver. Now what liver does? Liver does some chemical changes of the drugs. But why? Because suppose the drug comes to the liver is lipid soluble. But the liver does not allow lipid soluble drugs to be excreted. So it first converted into the hydrophilic one and then excreted. So the third and the fourth steps will be metabolism and excretion respectively. So what kind of barrier a drug faces? In order to know about this, we should shortly discuss about the route of administration, the route in which we take the drugs. If we administer the drug by oral route, it undergoes to the mouth, then stomach, then it disintegrates, then dissolutes and absorbs. So already it crosses a long barrier before its absorption, and hence 50% of its power, which is generally called viability of drugs, has been cut off. But if the drug is given in IV route, like intravenous route, it directly reaches to the blood circulation and can be absorbed quickly. So we can say here the viability is 100%. But this is only a single barrier, and this is not the end. A drug molecule has to cross the cell membrane in order to come to our system circulation. But the crossing of the cell membrane is quite difficult because we already know it shows some selective permeabilities. So the drugs need to undergo some process to cross this barrier. This process are collectively called as absorption. So the next slide is about what is absorption. Absorption means the movement of drugs from the administration site to the system circulation, that is blood or plasma. So you can say it is the first step of the pharmacokinetics. Here one additional point needs to be added. That is the absorption area of the drug. What is it? It mainly depends on whether the drug acidic or basic. Suppose we take an acidic drug, so it's obvious that it will absorb in the acidic surface of the stomach. Like example, if we take salicylate, then it will absorb in the stomach. As the surface of the stomach is small, so the rate of absorption will be less here. But what about the basic drugs? If we take a basic drugs like pethidine or ephedrine, it will be absorbed in the alkaline medium of the small intestine, which has a large surface area. But in order to come to the intestine, the drug has to move through the stomach, which is acidic in nature. So a coating must be needed, which is called enteric-coated. We already studied about this enteric-coated tablets in the first year. So the drug must be suitably coated, and hence the viability also decreases in the same amount. Now, the mechanism of drugs absorption across cell membrane. It is mainly 3 types: passive transport, specialized transport or carrier-mediated transport, and third one is endocytosis and exocytosis. Passive transport is also divided into two types: simple diffusion and filtration, and carrier-mediated transport is also divided into 2 types: active transport and facilitated diffusion. Let's passive transport, active transport, and facilitated diffusion. Let me clear about this. Let's take an example. In fact, you already studied about it, but let me clear. Suppose we take a bucket of water and keep it in the middle of the 3-layer table. And now we have to give the water to the lower level and upper level. In case of lower level, we can spontaneously give the water without help of any kind of force. So this is called passive transport, as you saw it in the left side. But if we take it into the upper layer, we have to apply force. So this is called active transport. And now suppose there is some mud present in the water. If we mixed it with the water, then it can be easily taken into the lower side to them. So here we can say, if we give some facility to the mud, it can easily taken. So it can be called facilitated transport. Now we should discuss one by one in detail. First one is passive transport. Passive transport means here the drug flow from the higher concentration to lower concentration, and here no energy required. Okay, it's categorized mainly into two types: simple diffusion and filtration. First one is simple diffusion. In simple diffusion, lipid soluble ionized drugs comes from the high concentration to low concentration, that is along with the concentration gradient. So the speed of the absorption depends on the various factors, like higher the degree of concentration gradient means higher the concentration difference, so higher is the rate of absorption. Again, lipid soluble drugs undergoes through the process, so higher is the lipid solubility, higher the rate. But as the process takes along the concentration gradient, so no energy is required here, so it is called passive process. The maximum number of drugs are in clinical practice are this type of drugs. Next is filtration. Actually, if we study about the structure of the cell membrane, we will find some aqueous pores or paracellular types of gaps in between the PLP, that is protein, lipid and protein structure of the cell membrane. This is nothing but a protein coated cell. Some insoluble but small size drugs can be easily filtered through it, but in case of RBC or intestinal mucosa, the paracellular gap is very small and drug can't pass through it. But in case of capillary, drug molecule can easily pass, as it also happened along the concentration gradient, so here also no energy required. So it is also passive process. So in the above two types, simple diffusion and filtration, we see that no helping particle is required. Next, talk about the specialized transport or carrier mediated transport. Okay. Suppose someone can go from one place to the another place by walking. Basically, he will use a carrier like a bike, bus or train. Same here. If drugs can't pass through the cell membrane, then the protein molecule present in the cell membrane or outside the cell membrane used as a transporter. Basically, what happens here? If the drug is ionized, is replaced by the cell membrane, the transporter molecule make a neutral complex with the drugs and passed along the cell membrane. As carrier is needed here, it is called carrier mediated transporter, or it's also called specialized transport. It mainly categorized into two types. First one is active transport and second one is facilitated transport. The first one is active transport. Active transport mainly depends on the energy requirement. Energy is required here, so you can say it is active. So clearly, specific transporter transport the drugs from the low concentration to the higher concentration, that is against the concentration gradient. And it is also two types. One is primary active transport and second is secondary active transport. Now how can we define? If the transporters generate energy themselves, then it is called primary active transporters. Like sodium plus and potassium plus pump is a primary active transporters. The secondary active transporter uses energies that stored by the primary active transporter. Okay, and there is also two terms present, what is antipode and sympode. If the movement of primary active transporter and secondary active transporter is in the same direction, it is called the symport. And if it is in different direction, it is called antipode. Okay. In picture you can see potassium plus and sodium plus antipode, and sodium and glucose is symport. Okay. The next is facilitator transfer. Facilitator, I already described it by the idea of mud in water. So the carrier binding process is same as active transport, but the movement of the drugs is along the concentration gradient. So here no energy is required. Okay. The third and final one is endocytosis and exocytosis. Okay. I already gave you an example of bucket of water and also about the mud present in the water. Now imagine what happens if a stone chips remain in the bucket and we need to carry it. It can't be mixed with water or can be flow spontaneously. Same happen in case of some drugs. It can't make complex with the transporter or it can't go through the cell membrane. Here actually cell makes a cavity around the drug molecules and capture or engulf the drug molecule. So now if the drug needs to take inside the cell, it is called endocytosis. As we know, endo means the inside and exo means out. So if the drugs needs to carry outside, this is called exocytosis. So you can see in the picture, in the right side of the cell engulfed the drug molecule. It's called endocytosis. And the left side, the exocytosis means the engulfed material released. Okay, in the upper picture you can see first the cell engulfed the drug molecule in endocytosis and further it is released by the exocytosis. Okay, here also a term comes which is called pinocytosis. What is pinocytosis? Pinocytosis in pino means lipid. If the endo or exocytosis process happens in case of lipid drugs, it called pinocytosis. Okay, that's all about it. Thank you so much.